Assalamualaikum. My name is Nazmi Ikram bin Jazmi. My student ID is 2020870886. Now, I will present about the history of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, or simply the Tower of Pisa, a freestanding bell tower of the cathedral of the Italian city of Pisa. It is known worldwide for its nearly 4-degree lean, the result of an unstable foundation. The tower is situated behind the Pisa Cathedral and is the third oldest structure in the city's cathedral square, after the cathedral and the Pisa Baptistry. The height of the tower is 55.9 meters from the ground on the low side and 56.7 meters on the high side. The width of the walls at the base is 2.44 meters. Its weight is estimated at 14,500 metric tons. The tower has 296 or 294 steps. The 7th floor has 2 fewer steps on the north-facing staircase. The tower began to lean during construction in the 12th century due to soft ground which could not properly support the structure's weight, and it was through the completion of construction in the 14th century. By 1990, the tilt had reached 1/2 degrees. The structure was stabilized by remedial work between 1993 and 2001, which reduced the tilt to 3.97 degrees. Between 1589 and 1592, Galileo Galilei, who lived in Pisa at the time, is said to have dropped 2 cannonballs of different masses from the tower to demonstrate that their speed of descent was independent of their mass, in keeping with the law of free fall. The primary source for this is the biography Racconto Storico della Vita di Galileo Galilei, historical account of the life of Galileo Galilei, written by Galileo's pupil and secretary Vincenzo Viviani in 1654, but only published in 1717, long after his death. During World War II, the Allies suspected that the Germans were using the tower as an observation post. Leon Wittgenstein, a US Army surgeon sent to confirm the presence of the German troops in the tower, was impressed by the beauty of the cathedral and its campanile, and thus refrained from ordering an artillery strike, sparing it from destruction. Numerous efforts have been made to restore the tower to a vertical orientation, or at least keep it from falling over. Most of these efforts failed. Some worsened the tilt. On 27 February 1964, the government of Italy requested aid in preventing the tower from toppling. It was, however, considered important to retain the current tilt due to the role that this element played in promoting the tourism industry of Pisa. A multinational task force of engineers, mathematicians, and historians gathered on the Azores Island to discuss stabilization methods. It was found that the tilt was increasing in combination with the softer foundation on the lower side. Many methods were proposed to stabilize the tower, including the addition of 800 tons of leads counterweight to the raised end of the base as a temporary intervention. The tower and the neighboring cathedral, baptistry, and cemetery are included in the Piazza del Duomo UNESCO World Heritage Site, which was declared in 1987. The tower was closed to the public on 7 January 1990 after more than 2 decades of stabilization studies and separated by the abrupt collapse of the Civic Tower of Pavia in 1989. The bells were removed to relieve some weight, and cables were changed around the third level and occurred several hundred meters away. Apartments and houses in the path of a potential fall of the tower were vacated for safety. The selected method preventing the collapse of the tower was to slightly reduce its tilt to a safer angle by soil removal 38 cubic meters from underneath the raised end. The tower's tilt was reduced by 45 centimeters, returning to its 80-38 position. After a decade of corrective reconstruction and stabilization efforts, the tower has been reopened to the public on 50 December 2001 and was declared stable for at least another 300 years. In total, 70 metric tons of soil were removed. After a phase of structural strengthening, the tower has been undergoing gradual surface restoration to repair visible damage, mostly corrosion and blackening. These are particularly pronounced due to the tower's age and its exposure to wind and rain. In May 2008, Engineers announced that the tower had been stabilized such that it had stopped moving for the first time in its history. They stated that it would be stable for at least 200 years. Figure 1.1 is the Leaning Tower of Pisa in the 1890s, and the figure 1.2 is plugged in memory of Galileo Galilei's experiments.
Hello, my name is and my student number is 2020-8707 and 38. So, now I will present about the discussion and calculation for the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Let's start by discussion first. The Leaning Tower of Pisa was supposed to be 60 meters tall. After the lean, the highest side of the tower reached 56.7 meters and the lower side is 55.9 meters. So the internal diameter is 7.368 and the external diameter 15.48 and 56.3 meters height if it was straight. We assume that Leaning Tower of Pisa is shaped like a cylinder, but it has cylinder-shaped hollow in it. But the real structure is irregular with chain of stairs, and there is a base for its floor and windows, and the poles and space for the people. So, from the measurement and assumption, we can calculate the surface area and volume of the tower. So we find the surface area at the outer side of the building. So we find the base, the top, and the curved face around the building. So from the calculation, total of surface area is 3029.1094 meters square. Since the building, we assume that there is a hollow in the cylinder, so the volume is volume of big cylinder minus the volume of small cylinder. So from the calculation, we find the volume is 8195.48024 meter cube.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ammar Zakwan bin Muhammad Fandi. My student ID is 2020616768. Today I want to present about the introduction of my second case, that is football ball. Case 2, football. The introduction. Football, or soccer as the game is called in some parts of the world, has a long history. Football in its current form arose in England in the middle of the 19th century, but alternative versions of the game existed much earlier and are a part of the football history. The first known examples of a team game involving a ball, which was made of a rock, occurred in old Mesoamerican cultures for over 3,000 years ago. According to the sources, the ball would symbolize the sun, and the captain of the losing team would be sacrificed to the gods. The first known ball game, which also involved kicking, took place in China in the 3rd and 2nd century under the name Kuju. Kuju was played with a round ball on an area of a square. It later spread to Japan and was practiced under ceremonial forms. Nowadays, football is a family of team sports that involve, to varying degrees, and kicking a ball to score a goal. Football is one of the most famous sports in the world right now. Almost every country now has their own football national team, and every country also had their own domestic league and domestic cup. Football now has become worldwide, and every 4 years, the Federation International Football Association, or FIFA, would organize a tournament called FIFA World Cup. So the shape of the football is a sphere, essentially the size of a football that been used in a tournament is a size 5 football. The size of a 5-side football is roughly 22 cm diameter.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Luqman bin Zuhari Yasini and my ID is 2020461094. My name is Muhammad Luqman that I am about to do discussion of this case. The application of geometry in this case is application of geometry in sports. This case is a study about a size 5 soccer ball with diameter measurement of 22 cm. This size of soccer ball is the size that regularly used in official match or tournaments such as FIFA or Liga Malaysia. You can see the image of the ball and its measurement from figure below. So figure 2.2 shows Brazuca ball, the ball that used in FIFA. Okay, from the figure 2.3 we can see the diameter of the ball, which is 12 cm. Thus it makes the radius of the ball 11 cm since the radius is half the diameter. To make soccer ball, they sew together 20 regular hexagon shaped skins with 12 regular pentagon shaped skins. Length side for these two shapes are same. It makes the initial shape for soccer ball become truncated icosahedron. You can see the shape from figure 2.4. But since in real life to make the ball playable, the ball is pumped with high volume of air. It turns the shape of soccer balls into a sphere. By using 11 cm as the radius of the ball, there are some calculations related to the ball that we can gain. First, surface area of the ball, and second, volume of the ball. Okay, for formula and calculation. Formula for surface area of sphere is 4 times pi times radius square. So surface area of the ball equal to 4 times pi times 11 square, which is make the surface area 1520.5308 cm square. Okay, volume of the sphere. Formula volume of the sphere is 4/3 times pi times r cube. So volume of the ball 4/3 times pi times 11 cube. Make the volume 5575.2798 cm cube. Thank you.
I'm back. So now I'm gonna present about the conclusion for all of this. Okay? So for the conclusion, we learn many things from this. So we know the facts, the something new, and do you know that the football ball is not a sphere but a truncated icosahedron. So it's very interesting to do this research. We also improving our imagination to create 3D image of objects or building. So we can make assumption from the imagination and we can do the calculation more easier. Since we cannot calculate the irregular shape, so we can assume the object in the 3D solid geometry and calculate more easier. So that's all from us. Thank you for lecturers, Madam Iza and all friends for supporting us. Bye bye.